and we're ready to hop into the first game.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Okay, here we go. I know. Let's go, dude.
Oh, man. Because, like, Dave, when's the last time, if these are the players we think they are, well, okay, we'll talk about this. Ladies and gents, welcome to the second semifinal in Hidden Cup 5, the best Hidden Cup we have ever had, especially in terms of the whole guessing aspect. People seem to believe that Khosrow could be the 3-time champion, the Viper. We will not confirm that, of course, until after the finals. And Khosrow is going to open up with green. We're going to change him to red because I know a certain percentage of people cannot see those colors in combination. But it is Khosrow against Alexios, and we expect a banger here. Alexios' micro has been electric, and the strategy and consistency for Khosrow has been smooth, Dave. It's Koreans against Saracens. Break it down for us.
Well, we're on Cup, and once again, not normally sheep scouting here from Khosrow. Why is he looking for the opposite shore? Why is he over there? I guess he's pretty convinced that his opponent is going to be pushing in the deer, but scouting that whole area, which implies that there might be some sort of hidden dock potential over there, or trying for something a little bit unique. Now, the green color from Khosrow, in my mind, if we're going with our assumptions that it's Viper versus Leary, right, and they both know who each other is, I would not put it past Viper to troll Leary a little bit by picking green, and that subtly tells Leary, like, I know who you are. I know that's your color.
Also, I know that the players have been watching the whole week, and they saw the stats and they saw the color video, and Leary is 46% green, like you said, but also, like, Viper's going to lean even harder into the color game and the mind games now. I'm going to make another prediction. I think that Viper will actually change his color, just like we've been saying about Alexios. He won't be green the whole series. That's just my prediction. But I agree, a very Viper thing to do. Still no yellow for Khosrow this whole tournament. But talk to me about Koreans here, Dave. What do you think about the Korean potential? Because I think right now they are very strong on this map based on the other games we've seen.
I think when we watched them from King Stephen, right? King Stephen's win condition was get the line of towers up. Always make sure there's some towers that you can fall back to, because Stephen wasn't really that execution guy. He needed that cushion behind him to save his military, right? He needed that map position. For Khosrow, we might be looking more at Koreans to get the water control early, to go into some archers that automatically have the armor, to save a little bit of wood on the units and just take full advantage of the other bonuses for Koreans, aside from just that tower angle, which is really what Steven was focusing on. The towers are going to help, but I don't think it's going to be primarily focused on that. And Koreans can still really, really be good here, especially against the Saracens. If the Saracens are trying to go for that early push, Koreans have all the tools to stop that.
So, interesting stat here. Alexios obviously dominated his first 2 rounds. He never played on Cup. This is the first time we will see Alexios Komnenos on Cup. And Khosrow played the map once, and he lost to King Stephen. So neither player really is shown to be that comfortable on the map for whatever reason. It could have just been the bans. Maybe they just didn't have it go their way. But neither player has won on this map. I love what Khosrow has done. So on this map, you have 2 separate areas of water, and he has chosen to dock the area that is directly between the 2 of them here. If you want that tower control, Dave, this is where you're going to want your ships. Having said that, no dock for Alexios at all yet, which is really rare. Usually we're seeing a dock at this point.
Yeah, usually. I also like how Khosrow, you saw how he pushed in those 3 deer right away. Like, right away. He wasn't delaying trying to get the maximum food amount from that. He's like, I need to be forward with the scout, and I need to see if my opponent docks. Like, we'll let the food rot a little bit, but the number 1 priority is going to be vision, because I have to see what the Saracens are going for here. Alexios might be opting for a fast castle with Saracens and like an instant push. Look at these walls. 4 villagers in the queue, 21 villagers already. I think this guy is just going fast castle, and we'll see how long it takes Khosrow to just call this out.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do against it? Because So the build that Khosrow's likely planning on is to contest some type of feudal age play. The majority of the games that we have seen has been feudal age water. Maybe we see some scouts. Maybe we see some archers. I mean, but the thing is, the feudal age water doesn't range the land units at all. So you're kind of okay here for your Lexios. I'd say the real downside is you don't have fish, but you do have extra villagers right now. So I too am curious on this, but I don't know how it's going to work out. I at least like how Alexios is trying something different because we felt as though Khosrow was going to be better strategically. If Alexios is going fast castle into crossbow or anything he can micro, it could be a really good opportunity for him here.
So potential here. If Khosrow wants to get a little bit aggressive, that could come back to bite him. That one wall not completed in the back. What if you make a couple ships from that dock in the south, and then you come forward with like even just 2 villagers and make a tower right on the berries and the stone of Alexios. You force him into so much to defend that, right? Yeah. And his eco is going to be so bare bones here. I think a tower approach could be really, really solid. He's going to the other side with his villagers, but towers against a fast castle like this will force all of those units in early castle age to push back the towers, and they're going to have to invest the resources that they so desperately need to click up to the castle age.
Yeah. Now, Khosrow's scouting has been amazing here, Dave, because sometimes it's so easy to just autopilot and do what you've done every other time against every other strategy. But he's adapted. He knows there's no dock, so he's added some more fishing ships here. And I think if you can get like 6 fishing ships and then break through, continue to harass this gold, it could be really good for you. But I mean, at the same time,
I would have liked.
It's not as though Khosrow really has the
tower
resources to go up here.
I would have liked that tower on the berries and the stone a lot better. It would have hit the wood line, the berries, and stone. Maybe he didn't know where all of that was, but he's still pushing in. He's still got the fishing ships too, and he's adding another one too. So his eco isn't going to be that far behind Alexios, and Alexios has to do some selling and some buying to get up to the next stage, and he probably doesn't want to sell the stone at this point. Kind of need that for defense. Get off the tower, Foundation Villager.
Yeah, there's another tower. Now, there is another gold. I wouldn't actually mind Alexios just walling behind this and moving to the other gold, but he's going to defend it. You don't want to let these Korean towers get out of hand. There was a small thing that happened earlier. It's probably too late at this point. But Khosrow, he was on gold heavily to go for water. He actually shifted Vills off of gold to go to the berries. So if Khosrow has a competitive castle age time, a lot of that could be because he adapted really nicely behind this. Alexios being a nerd right now. He's like, I can't attack with anything just yet. But yeah, we see more Vills headed over to berries right now.
He needs walls, because a couple knights here from the Saracens could do a lot of damage. The galley is actually out now, and that galley will manage to range the scout, and I think also some resources from Alexios
maybe.
On the backside there. But the walls are now coming up from Khosrow as the villagers come in, and one villager down already. This is bad for Alexios.
Yeah, this is, like, if you think this is Viper, running in there to try and attack those towers is not ideal. Remember, your economy is pretty fragile. You're on the way to castle. You're not producing much more. I mean, it is just the first villager down for Alexios. Now, with this build, Alexios can basically make 1 or 2 knights, maybe some siege in the long term. You can't afford a lot on this, so whatever you decide on with your castle age advantage really needs to pay off, and right now it's going to be knights. And to your point, did Khosrow see that? Khosrow's scout has been around. If he sees the stable, he should be fully walled in front of his TC. There's the walls right now, and he definitely knows, dude. Yep, he saw the stable.
Oh, man. It's going so well for Khosrow. Even with the castle age uptime advantage here from Alexios, we look at the resources collected are already so far in front just because of the fishing ships, even with the villagers forward. Yep. He's done a lot of great work here, and we'll see if the camels are enough from Alexios. The camels will get bonus damage against the ships. So maybe it's just camels to clear up the fishing ships, but still, you need some sort of other pressure. And a town center, wow.
Very passive opening here for Alexios. So he feels that he can use the camels to kill the fish. I do have to say, though, with how stubborn Khosrow has been, that TC for Alexios It should maybe
Yeah,
be
that's too
somewhere
much.
else right now. Like, just maybe place it
Yeah.
somewhere that is safe, and then you can still worry about taking down the tower. You know, another villager goes down, and Khosrow's like, keep doing it. Keep trying, please. Especially only seeing camels. Like, I know Saracens have strong camels, but really what I'd like to see from Alexios here is bring knights underneath the towers.
Yep.
That'd be really
Oh my god, so many villagers weak. Oh, this is so painful. And at this point, Khosrow's already gotten the value from these 5 vills. If those 5 villagers die, it's going to be bad, but I think he can kind of give those up. Like, if they get surrounded or something, he's not going to feel too terrible about them going down. He will be clicking up soon. This is amazing micro on the towers, bro. This is incredible.
This is... Okay, this guy's been in 1 or 2 tower wars in his day. Continues to repair it. I mean, the vills can't do this forever. They're so weak, but whoop, whoop, right back into the tower. And Alexios is going to clear that. Like, we know that that position is going to be his eventually, but it has taken some time. And now the camels are roaming around the water. But here's the positive for Alexios, right? Obviously, this has been good for Khosrow. Nice house wall. Okay, hold on. Hold that thought. This is going to get crazy. We could have a trap. Could have these villagers get trapped.
Still weak villagers around, though, I think. How many villagers go down here? Weak. Maybe none. They're full HP. He's brought the full HP ones. He sent the weak ones back. Alexios has been manually managing the weak villagers back into the other safer parts of his eco. That is sick.
Yeah, really smart. I mean, the stubbornness feels a little bit more natural now. But I got to say, a minute away from the next stage for Khosrow. And he's still going to have a tower up. And that's going to be a guard tower soon. Now, what I'd like to see, Dave, and I haven't asked you this question yet, I'd like to see some turtle ships. So, you've been right every time in Hidden Cup 5. Really think on this. Don't ruin the streak. How many turtle ships do we see in this game? Don't ruin it. Don't wait till he cues one. You got 10 seconds. One. Okay. All right. Well, I think a turtle ship...
You hype me up. You say I've been right every time, right? And then you don't let me think. There's a method to the madness, bro.
I didn't want you to let me think, because I think he's gonna make one. I'm sorry, I just got too excited. There's the guard tower.
I was about to say 0, but I have to go with 1.
Okay. It'll be 1. I think you'll get your turtle ship. Because there's going to be a moment. Right now, Khosrow has continued to just spiral. Or not spiral, he's just continued to creep.
Oh my god.
With these towers. And look at the nerd micro. He's like, come and hit me, camel. Oh man. Don't TC again, Alexios. What are we doing? Okay, does he not know about his other gold or something? Does he not see the other gold?
Turtle ship
or like his
queued
stone?
Up, but the monks are here. Turtle ship queued up, but the monks are here. That town center is going up, but there might be another tower in that area soon from Khosrow, as we see the monks healing up the camels. And, well, the eco, it's still ahead for Khosrow. He's just been so calm. It's a tower forward, which usually makes games messy, but he's been so good with the micro so far.
So, I don't know how many people are new here, but I do have a suggestion for you. If your opponent is guard tower rushing you, I wouldn't suggest building your TCs next to that. Now, that's what we've seen from Alexios, so he might know something that I don't. But I do think it could be a problem. It also could be a problem that turtle ship's out there for Alexios. And we'll see if there's going to be any conversions on that. Monks can convert turtle ships, but turtle ships will one-shot the monk, and boom, run away, turtle!
That galley is a problem for the monk. That galley is a huge issue for the monk. He gets him.
That's huge. That is just huge. This game has gone exactly as Khosrow would have wanted here. And Alexios, we talked about his strength with micro. We haven't seen the archer play. We haven't seen the aggression. He's tried to kind of flip the script around and be more defensive. And Khosrow has taken every opportunity. He's like, thanks for the TC, dude. I'm just going to siege push this now. Really tough position for Alexios.
I was looking at King Stephen's tower positions and now looking at Khosrow's tower positions, and we assume that they might be practice partners, or maybe Khosrow learned from King Stephen, right? How to place them.
Yep.
I'm really beginning to like the positioning in the north area of the map, regardless of where the golds are positioned or the stones or whatever, just because it cuts you off from all the extra resources up there. And it also kind of cuts you off from docking the top pond. Wow, this is so annoying. And it cuts you off from the gold in the middle.
The amount of times that Khazra's found that little area where the camels can't range him is insane. And oh god.
Oh my.
Okay, I mean, this is one turtle ship conversion away from being a doubt castle, Dave. Like, I understand Khazra's in an amazing position. He's collected more resources. I'm really worried about that castle. You can't use the turtle ship to defend it. It could be the camels that deny it. What is this castle from Khazra? Has he learned too much from King Stephen?
He can always hide. He can always hide in the tower. Mangonel Micro going on at the same time, and Alexios takes one back. And the villagers are hiding now in the tower as he needs more units on the water to push this back. He's still pushing with the Mangonel though, and the Micro is going on regardless of what else is happening. God, both of these guys are so good. Turtle ship takes the Mangonel. Oh, Mangonel takes the bills.
So there's one villager building the castle here for Khazra, and there's more monks on the way, and this could be a denied castle. And another doubt sighting in Hidden Cup 5. Careful, Khazra. The turtle ship ends up killing the monk again, dude. I mean, who said the turtle ships could be converted? Not me. 87%.
One villager castle. If that goes up, it's not doubt. It's 100% not doubt if that goes up.
Yeah, true.
This galley has gotten so much value, and the galley gets converted, and now it can go after the villager. We need more bills forward, and it looks like Khazra is sending them right now.
It's not like Alexios doesn't have a lot of workers right now. He's got a lot of workers. No. Now here come the other vills.
He's making a second turtle. No.
Oh, but Dave, but what if the first one gets converted, does it cancel out? What happens?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yes, of course you're going to say that. Monks go down. Oh, God. And he deletes it. He deletes it, but this will be the second turtle. And the TC's down for Alexios, and it feels like Khazra will be able to complete this castle. And if it goes up, this is a nightmarish position to ever deal with if you're Alexios.
Yeah, so, I mean, you go for Saracens, fast castle, to just boom. Surely this isn't the game plan.
Yeah.
Surely it's not the game plan. There's been some sort of adaptation here. And now you're going to run into some significant problems because this castle will... that monk got way too close, bro. You can't be shouting. You can't be shouting down the barrel of that cannon.
Hey, had a lot of faith there. I got to give him credit. Had a lot of faith. Turtle ships have paid off here. Dave, the GG's called, and Khazra wins. And Khazra... he wasn't expecting Alexios to play this way, I'm sure. He was expecting Alexios to be very aggressive, which is how he hyped this up. Alexios tried to mind game. He tried to change that by going for the fast TCs, but the problem was the towers from Khazra held a very important position. I think the siege pressure as well paid off. It took down the TCs from Alexios, and a pretty strong game from Khazra. I do have to say, I think that is a classic case of Alexios trying to play out of his own comfort zones to mind game his opponent. And when you are as good as Alexios is, you do not need to do that. You can literally just play your game. Sure, they expect it, but play your game. I think you're good enough, Alexios. I still expect a lot from Alexios here.
And once again, we have Khazra playing as the red, and Alexios is just like, whatever, dude. You can, or sorry, as the green. And
No,
Alexios
you got it wrong.
Whatever.
Well, Alexios changed his color. We got to keep changing the colors. We got to keep this consistent, but I want you guys to at least recognize that they are playing color mind games. So the stat about Leary prior to Hidden Cup was that he changes his color all the time, and a lot of people think Alexios is indeed Leary. Khazra stays on green, which we will turn red, and it's on the right side. We've got Alexios here. Alexios playing as the Japanese, and then we have Khazra playing as the Lithuanians. Khazra played as the Lithuanians when he played this before in the first round, and it was crazy strong how good he played towards the eco. He went towards like 4 TCs. I think he had 4 relics with Lithuanian knights. So what did the Japanese do well here, Dave? And like, what are you looking to do early on here for your Alexios?
I think you just got to get that dock up, but not super invest onto water. So far, what we've seen on this map is the majority of the time, whoever invests more into water loses the game because they're caught off guard by the land military coming across, and you have to go up so quickly to invest onto that water battle to get the fire galleys out that you just don't have enough resources to make the walls at home or make the archer range yourself in time, and you get punished. So Alexios could just fish with like 3 ships and then give them up and push with maybe militia, men at arms, and then archers behind.
I am mind blown at how much sheep scouting we are seeing from Khosrow. I don't recall him doing this in previous games. Seriously, like, this is a tourney, and you're allowed to steal resources. Like, it is very likely that you will lose resources against certain names in Hidden Cup. But whoever Khosrow thinks Alexios is, he is not expecting that Alexios is going to try and steal anything.
Oh, he didn't see the Vil, dude. He missed the timing by a half a second. Didn't see the Vil going up for the dock. Dang.
Yeah.
You all know it's going to go out there. It's just whether you can delay the dock or even kill the villager.
Yeah, now that dock there could be a little bit more difficult to spot. Of course, Khosrow's looking, and he's going to see this. And you can quick wall the villager in. Now, the scout's coming from Alexios. This could lead to Khosrow losing a scout, but if the villager goes down, this could be a massive, massive swing, and the villager will die, and Khosrow will be very, very happy about that.
Yeah. And there's another villager coming out. I think Khosrow he might even save the scout too. That's just perfect scouting from him. He knew exactly the timing, and that's the reason probably that he's doing so much scouting with the goats. Right? Wants to find the map, knows he needs to send his initial scout forward super quickly. He was already there with the villagers, so he didn't have to worry about his being under threat because of Lithuanians. Got out there really quick, and now he can just calmly go home and start pushing in the zebra, pushing in the ostrich. What a beautiful start for him.
Yeah, I mean, delaying the dock means you are ahead. You kill the Vil, but then you're also ahead because you can add fishing ships first. Great start for Khosrow. Now, this isn't something that is game-changing, but I am noticing, and I see my chat's noticing it too, Alexios has a little bit of a Black Forest situation to the north of his base. There's a lot of wood lines there, so it should be easier to play a little bit more defensive between the wood lines. I don't know what happened, but that's a lot of wood compared to Khosrow. Khosrow's got the more standard open feel high tides, and Alexios has trees everywhere. So it's worth pointing out, but again, it's like, I don't know if it makes a difference as we see a quick wall there from Khosrow.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there from Khosrow. I haven't really seen this game go, or this map go late very many times, or anyone taking the backwoods. So it's kind of it might not matter, but if it does, we'll keep an eye on it. One thing I did see from Alexios is docking the southern little river system there in his previous set, I believe, against Robert Giscard. And I think he got a demo with his sneaky dock. Khosrow, I can't remember if he did the same thing on his first set on high tide.
Khosrow actually made a mill on, not in the south where all the hunt and the fish are, but he actually made a mill on his deer near his base. Now he's pushing in the deer now.
Yeah.
But he actually chose not to take the risk to go down to the south, which I found interesting. So now at this point, he's already pushed in some of them. But it looks like it's going to be militia from Alexios. I mean, dude, I hyped it up as archer from Alexios. He's going to go militia, probably archers on the back of it. And this is more along the lines of what we wanted to see from him.
Yeah, if he didn't lose that first villager, it would have been so much better, right? But if you play this map enough, if you've watched this map, if you practice this map, I feel like you can't go for that starting dock on the marshy terrain like he did, unless your scout is hanging out right next to your Vil, because you can't quick wall it in. That just shows like maybe a lack of experience, or just not watching the previous sets, or just got a little bit sloppy and moved the scout away at the same time.
Honestly, he probably played this map like 10 times, and he never got punished like that because his scout was close. Like, his scout was there, which is why Khosrow's is so weak, but it was just such a good job from his opponent to punish him. And also, as we see Khosrow get housed pretty badly at the start of Feudal, I really liked there. Oh, hold on. Could have a lame attempt. But I really liked how Khosrow saw the militia. So this is not something that's going to surprise him. He pre-walled everything. And getting that scouting intel is so important here.
Oh, so smart, too. He garrisons all the Vils but one. so the goats can't be stolen.
That's really smart,
Oh
actually.
my, that's such a little detail there. And he's like, no, that
And then
is
he
my
kills
goat.
that one.
You will not take it.
Oh God, he's gonna keep doing this. This must be annoying though. And Alexios is like, at least I have a scout that can do this, bro. Thank you for the goat. So goat potentially loses a goat. And we have double fire galley production from him in the north. It is Japanese here for Alexios. So he should have the edge in these types of battles. And as we see Khosrau try and get some gates down, the scout activity from Alexios has been annoying. And the water control for Alexios really starting to look good.
Ooh, quick wall. Quick wall. There's a fire
No
there.
way.
Can't really quick wall
No
this
way.
one in. He's going to lose the Vil. It's dead.
Yep. Deadville. And also still problems underneath the TC. Alexios he's annoying me right now. Like, I am actually a little annoyed. And I can't imagine how Khosrau feels. Khosrau invested into water. He went double dock, and he was in feudal age faster day. But getting housed, getting pop cap, and then also being up against the Japanese has made things a little bit more awkward for him here.
Dang. Nice pressure here with the 2 militia plus the water investment. Really,
Also,
really
there's
solid
there's
build
weak
on the
Vils
back
there.
of one Vil going down. Yeah, the weak Vils are behind, and the militia are punishing. Militia are trying
He's
to
not
block. Will
looking
they
here.
be able to get the Vil?
They will. That should be a dead Vil. That's a dead villager. And all of a sudden, Alexios has had a really nice start. He still hasn't lost his fish on water. He's still contesting Khosrau. Not game ending by any means, but nice job from Alexios to finally be aggressive here.
Finally clearing up that second militia, but is it before a villager goes down? Who wins this? The Vil wins. She's tough.
Spearman also out there. We should see archers and skirms on the way from Alexios. Neither player going to the south to take the extra food, which was added in this version of High Tides. But I've just been waiting for the fishing ships for Khosrau to go down, and it looks like they're starting to finally be picked off here by Alexios. It's just a great recovery from him on water, and honestly, better micro Dave, which is what how we advertised the series between these two.
Archer now coming. He saw that villager from before, trying to wall up there with his weakened scout, and he's going to send an archer down there, but there is a skirmisher on the way. So maybe Alexios saw the scout see the Vil, and he knows that there's something happening there. In the south, Khosrau is sending, I believe, villagers down to take advantage of all that free hunt and the shorefish. Let's see if it goes for a dock or a mill. It's a mill this time as well.
So Khosrau, 3 on food, 1 of which is fishing ships. Will have the berries. I'm sure he'll add some farms, but he is being heavily outnumbered right now. And Alexios has transitioned the rest of his food eco in a better way, in my opinion. Now, that weak scout, this is so annoying. Like, using the scout against this one skirm. Come on, Khosrau, get a life, dude. Like, he could kill that skirm with the scout, gets away, 3 HP scout, getting more value. Beautiful stuff. And now the archer could still linger around on the wood line.
Okay, skirms versus archers. Let's take a look at the eco right now. Res collected is dead even. Dead even. That's crazy. And Alexios basically has control over the water right now. So this one's going potentially into the Castle Age, but we have villagers actually collecting that free food at the bottom. And because of the military units on the field, I don't think Alexios can sneak out again for a dock on that area. I also see Khosrau still trying to monitor that wall against the edge of the map from Alexios and making sure that it's not complete, even though that scout is very weak.
That scout has been incredibly active, hasn't it? Like, that scout killed the villager, confirmed the militia were coming forward, and is now still scouting the rest of the map. That's really nice, and it does boost your confidence to have that vision. We did have a pause here, and they're back in business, so there's a sorry go. We didn't have a pause stat for Hidden Cup 5. We'll maybe work on that if there's a Hidden Cup 6, but skirms with Lithuanians should be superior in the skirmisher battle just because of the speed here, Dave. And I'm looking at that gold position for Alexios. You've either got to wall that, or you've got to consider towering it, but look at the split micro from Alexios. My God.
Yeah, both of these guys are so good, man. Khosrau has definitely brought a different level than we saw in the previous 2 sets.
Agreed.
Like, in
Yeah.
terms of micro and execution and aggressiveness, Khosrow is approaching this set a lot differently than round of 16 and then the quarterfinals.
Really impressive to me that we've seen Khosrow collect more resources. Or, sorry, I guess he hasn't collected more at this point, but it's close, and he lost his fish pretty quickly against the Japanese here. That is not a common situation to encounter. He isn't walled, though. He does have Vils exposed, and Alexios pushes him back with 2 skirms. What a great addition here. 2 scouts, rather. The scouts will be helpful later on against the Lithuanians looking for relics, and also gives you the potential to move out across the map instead of playing defensive like he was.
And he's found the mill at the bottom, too. He's down there with the unit. Alexios has found the villagers down there. What is it? It's one archer.
It's an archer.
Let's see how nerdy he can be with... Okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alexios might have patrolled it. You know, now maybe he'll send the rest of his army down here. I think it would make sense for Khosrow
Finish
to
the wall,
leave there.
bro. She's been standing there for 15 business days, and she hasn't finished the wall. There we go.
Must be a government employee right there. That would explain everything. Well, skirm count's still pretty high, and I was expecting this to transition into knights. Still could. Obviously, if there's more skirms out there, it's likely that there could be knights. Pretty open here for Khosrow. And Alexios has used the time to wall. Alexios has fished with Japanese. Alexios also controls that area where there's golds later on, that island near the water. So advantage Alexios here come game 2.
Oh, there's a little overchop. I mean, if you ignore the gaping hole to the left side as well, the overchop's actually going to hurt him because the scouts have come through here, and Khosrow will need to back up from this.
Yeah.
What
Dude,
a wall there from Alexios. Khosrow completely open still.
Khosrow is sitting with his army in the south because he knows he's vulnerable down there with those villagers, so he was not expecting Alexios to come here. He was protecting this. So leaving himself exposed has become a bit of a problem, but he does have a knight. He does have some spears around to maybe deal with the scouts. Here we have amazing aggression from Alexios. That should be one dead vill. That villager there should not survive on the gold, but I guess Alexios is just running away. Khosrow builds the second TC. Khosrow will have some monks on the way here. Not too bad for Khosrow. If this becomes knights and monks, very good situation for the Lithuanians.
Yeah, really, really nice. He's found a nice find on these scouts, too, getting a little bit of chip damage and sending the villagers back. So 42 vills versus 42 vills, only 5 fishing ships taking advantage of that water advantage. And then we have a second town center being added from Alexios. Alexios has gone for some big walling, even in front of the TC, trying to keep himself secure.
I love how Alexios just keeps sending an army, dude. Like, Khosrow doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know what's going to hit him next. He's got holes everywhere. He's never gone for any type of wall. He hasn't had a lot of control for so long. And Alexios with the snipes. Here he comes with knights now. Now, there will be some monks around, but Lightcav's already out there for Alexios. So if he hears a monk, he could swoop in with Lightcav there. And here, all the skirms are kind of just left randomly out there, and Khosrow's falling apart.
Yeah, Khosrow just can't deal with all of the units coming from different angles here. And the monk coming in, this third town center at the back. He's going to play open. He's going to try and defend himself, but nice little positioning there from the fire galleys against the dock.
I wonder if they can go past that. Yeah. So this is full adapt mode here for Khosrow. This is where we're going to need some quick walls. This is where you need some conversions to pan out. When you drop the TCs like this, you are getting the extra food injection with the Lithuanians. But this aggression for Alexios, behind it is the perfect eco setup. The upgrades are all there. He'll have 3 TCs. And there's just really not a lot of army for Khosrow to do anything with at the moment. I will say one thing which is unique to this map compared to the others. The relics are positioned in the middle. There's none in the back. So you've got the 2 in the middle. You've got the one on like the islands. And then you've got the one in the very south. So if you want those relics, you have to be active through the middle right now.
Yep. Sanctity, now on the way. Malians, or sorry, not Malians, Lithuanians should have a little bit of an advantage over Japanese if we're talking about Castle Age compositions, right? Their monks are going to be better. Their relics coming in are going to be really, really nice. He's only got one so far. Unless he loses all the monks. Sanctity just popped. It's not going to help, though. All those monks are going down. He does get 2 light cav at least.
That is Khazra wandering forward, I think, recognizing he's behind and hoping his opponent wouldn't have the light cav in position, but Alexios has been waiting for that moment. Kills all 4 monks. He's kept the Lithuanian player down to 1 relic, but there we go. Khazra's going to kill some monks as well on the other side. Light cav just swooping in, so that he gets those kills most likely. Here he's chasing back the knights. That's not bad, but you do got to think, with the eco being even and 1 player being open, this game right now is going to be twice as hard for Khazra.
Knights looping around to the stone, not finding anything. Khazra's done a wonderful job of stopping that.
Yo confirmed with that conversion. It felt like a really fast conversion. There's the 4th TC for Khazra.
4th town center. Okay, so what's the composition here for him?
Well, usually, like the last time Khazra played this map, he didn't really wall much. He went for 5 TCs, and he made so many knights with so much attack because of the relics, it didn't matter what his opponent made. But here, you don't have the relics. You're not ahead in eco. You can't be greedy. So I think you want to go like Knight Pike. And I think, honestly, Alexios should probably consider doing the same. But it's going to be tricky. Those knights didn't see the monk that's going out there to get that relic. Nice job from Alexios, man. This is what we wanted. We wanted aggression from Alexios. Game 1, the fast castle is not it. Hitting in 2 different angles right now.
Yep. Alexios got that wall up earlier. I mean, like, I know he has more wood lines, but it doesn't affect that wall at all. Like, maybe one extra wood line on the front.
My issue here for Khazra has been he never had land momentum. The militia killed Vils and gave him problems. He then lost water simultaneously. He never had, beyond that 1 archer and that 3 HP scout, he's never had control here, Dave. And now it's like the level's close. The aggression from Alexios is insane. You're just kind of hoping if you're Khazra, your opponent makes mistakes. But there have been no mistakes from Alexios.
Yeah, +2 armor coming in. 44 on food is disgusting. And Khazra is now forced to go into some pikemen, monks, knights. It's just an awkward situation. It's really, really awkward.
So what's weird on this map is usually there's this critical hill or resource in the middle of a map, as we see a sneaky relic from Khazra. And that area is where you want a castle. Here, I mean, there's that 4-tile gold in the relic. I guess that's not bad. But there's no, like, clear, screaming castle spot for me. I'm wondering if Alexios is coming forward for that, or if he's just going to go for more of a defensive castle. I could see this hill maybe being good, but again, there's no resources there. Here, there's light cav, there's monks, there's a couple vills. Not enough to build a castle unless your name rhymes with scout. And pikemen are out in the field right now for Khazra. So maybe now, maybe with some pikes, maybe now that your knights are going to have +2 extra attack, maybe you get a clear up. You really need a big fight here if you're Khazra.
I mean, it's been a super defensive game for him. He's kind of been forced into it here. The knights are in again at the back.
I love that.
Killing villagers on the farms.
He's got another group
use of the mobility there from Alexios, and he's got another group. Yeah, you're right. From the south, as this main battle is happening, he's realizing that Khazra is going to have issues, right? Paying attention to all the things at once as the pikemen come in. Light cav come for the monks after the conversions, but villagers are dying behind. Everything is falling apart here for Khazra. It all began with the water being lost, and there's the GG from Khazra. Alexios taking that game. He was about to go forward with the castle.
It is very rare that 2 militia and a scout change the game to the degree that it did here. But at the start, Khazra had he was a minute faster to feudal. He was making fire galleys out of 2 docks. And logic tells you those fire galleys then win the battle on water and start to snowball. But he lost a villager to the militia. The scout was in and out underneath his TC 16, 17 times. And then by the time he looked back at water, he had lost his first 2 fire galleys. The first two
Yep.
fire galleys were all lost because of the little drush there from Alexios. And then Alexios, of course, played very well defensive behind. Alexios ties it up 1-1. And that's what we wanted to see from the guy. Khosrau probably needs to go to one of his home maps now where you can't have so much aggression coming in like Alexios was able to do there. We can hop into game number 3 and find out. But yeah, it's got to be... I mean, Byzantines are pretty good. Dravidians, I think, are the more common pick here.
Mm-hmm.
And it is going to be Italians against Dravidians. So yet again, obviously, we're going to change colors back to where we started.
Jeez.
Yeah, Khosrau stayed in the green. So Viper picked green the entirety of Hidden Cup 3 as Saladin because of the campaign, I was told. Now, I do not know what color Khosrau is in the campaigns. Maybe people can look into that. But I don't think Khosrau has been picking this color green in this series for any reason but to mess with people and maybe mess with his opponent if he thinks his opponent is leery. Italians, Dravidians getting the extra wood when they arrive to the next stage. They also have an underrated bonus, which is the carry capacity on their fishing ships. Very flexible. When they build a dock, they get extra pop space from that too. And then the Italians are just the sieve of discounts. Cheaper fishing ships, cheaper dock techs, cheaper to go up to the next stage. But I don't want to talk about ships until we're blue in the face. I want to talk about, do you transport if you're any of these players here with how their styles match up? Because we've seen a lot of transports.
I think Alexios might transport, but not until they've made some galleys.
Okay.
Maybe as like a secondary option. What did we see with Alexios? He went just for Vikings defense in the previous set, right? And then he got landed himself, so never really had an opportunity to transport over to the other side.
Correct.
Khosrau, on the other hand, should look at this Civ matchup and think, okay, Dravidians, if I hold water, are going to be really, really solid in the long term. Maybe I'll just keep massing up Navy and only land if I have a counter army to his landing, which I can then put in a transport ship and come across.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, Alexios... I would just go, if I'm Alexios, which I am not, just to be clear, and there's not many people in the world who can micro like him, I would never have any reason to do anything but make galleys, personally. Because your micro is so good that even if on paper the strategy should be bad because of X, Y, or Z reason, you can have confidence that with your unit control, you get the kills there. So you then flip it around and say, does Khosrau think that he can compete with that micro? And the answer could easily be yes. With how good Khosrau is. But I don't know if you are taking advantage of the bonuses that Dravidians have if you don't spend that extra wood somehow. So I don't know. Maybe like we either see tons of galleys from Khosrau or we see the transport. Unfortunately, we don't really know too much at this point. We'll know in a couple minutes once they start to either make the second dock or go for the transport ship.
Thank you, Stats Guy. It's always, this map is scripted, so you always have equal wood on either side. Thank you, Stats Guy.
That's also not easy to do. People aren't going to appreciate that. That's not easy to do. And still have a random map script, as well as the neutral islands, by the way, because we don't want, Jimmy Bob Jr. in my chat being like, there's 3 more trees on that neutral island. Very difficult to do. And so that is fairly similar there. Actually, please, Mappy, don't click it. Don't. Okay, fact check me. Fact check me.
In your expert opinion, okay, 2,400 wood, right?
Okay, thank God.
Wait, no, 25. Oh, we have an extra. No. Where's the tree? Surely there's a tree that you missed. There's a tree you missed on the other neutral island.
No, bugged map, guys.
You've missed a tree, bro. I know it. No, you didn't.
We got to restart. We got to restart because there's a tree missing. Now, maybe that tree is on one of these other islands. That would just be... Thank you. Yes, map. Oh, we found the other tree. Perfect. Oh, my goodness. Both players on the way up. No transport ship yet. And
There's the tree.
I think it's going to be galleys, dude. Galleys and fires. Okay, actually, more specifically, what I think Khosrau will do, he will start with galleys, he will shift into fires, and hope for a really early castle age time, because the fires then feel a lot stronger.
I think that's just the right approach, right? Like once you get 6 galleys, the fires provided like a nice little meat shield in front of you, depending on what your opponent is investing in. If they're investing full galleys from 3 docks, then you just got to keep going galleys. Otherwise, you're going to get ripped apart. But if they're kind of a mix too, then that's a really, really good option. I do like opening galleys first, though. I think that's incredibly important. You can always mix in those fires later.
If Alexios loses water long term, he does have a gold, which is very close to the shoreline and on the front of his base. So that's going to be a concern for Alexios. This can happen from time to time with wood lines or stones. Like even the stone back there, that's all rangeable. That gold there, not great, considering the galley is the unit choice here.
There's a forward stone from Khosrau as well, though. And I think his back gold might be rangeable from the... I mean, there's not much room on these islands, is what we're getting at.
They're very, very narrow islands, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Khosrau triple dock. It's also triple dock here from Alexios. Dude, Dave, this might be taking us back to like 2014, 2015. Just full-on galleys, lots of micro here. I mean, nice start for Alexios because he was up faster, but I expect fast fletching and a lot of dancing here.
Yeah, and the docks are actually fairly close for Alexios here. So if he keeps the initiative, it's going to be tough for Khosrau to get all of his units grouped together, because his last dock is about the same distance from this area as Alexios's docks are. So the reinforcements are going to be coming in quick. You can see he's got a little bit of an advantage on the production. Preemptively splits in, snipes the fishing ship, and comes in for the galleys. And this is what I was talking about. The galleys have to like weasel their way through Alexios's army if it's forward. And Khosrau is going to have some issues grouping up and making sure the mass is there.
5 fishing ship build as well from Alexios. So he was up faster, but he also had the additional fishing ship, and now he got the kill, which in theory could mean, with it being cheaper to get to the next stage, that he could be in an advantage. But Khosrau, he also splits. He wants to get in close here with the upgrade advantage. He will have fletching here in a moment. And folks, tell me what year you came back to Age of Empires and started watching. I imagine all of us took a break at some point, because this used to be islands. This used to be all you'd see on islands. And it makes me feel very happy to see this. It's very nostalgic to see straight up galleys. In fact, if we see a fire, I will be disappointed. But most of you probably never witnessed a lot of this like we did. This used to be the only option.
That was some really great micro from both. Khosrau, keeping his wounded ships behind. And you saw Alexios realizing which ships were low HP, and he tried to split them off, but Khosrau called him out on it and managed to get the snipe there. 1-1 KD at the moment. We've got 9 galleys for Alexios. We've got 11 galleys here for Khosrau.
Khosrau has struggled a bit more with managing all of this. He did get housed. I think he's also bringing in a boar right now. I think he literally just brought in a boar. I just saw blinking.
Yeah.
I think I just saw blinking at his base. That's Alexios. But Khosrau,
he did. With the scout. Did he bring it in with the scout? Did he bring it in with the scout?
I don't. We just assumed he would have had his boars. So to micro while also bringing in your boar, maybe tells you some timing problems there for Khosrau. But the micro continues.
He did. In the middle of this, while massing galleys and trying to micro galleys, he's bringing in a boar with his scout. Wonderful.
And didn't
Great
lose
job,
it,
man.
Didn't lose it. Dude, you know what else is yikes is the HP on some of these ships. This is now at that point where you make one mistake, you're losing 3 or 4 galleys to a volley or 2. I actually think Alexios has seemed more suited for this so far. The resources are climbing. There he gets the snipe. That's what we mean, right? And it's only the 3rd kill of the game, but there's the 4th kill of the game. And Alexios Komnenos, who started the series so passively, maybe trying to mind game his opponent, he's just going back to what we know him as in this tournament. The micro nerd up to Castle Age already. Khazra will probably follow, but for now, I'd say advantage to Alexios.
Nice little splits there from both. The first player to Bodcanero has a really big advantage, especially if these navies are really close to each other and the docks are really, really close. So Alexios will have a massive advantage here when he reaches the Castle Age approximately 40 seconds earlier than Khosrow. And Khosrow might have been watching the score there from Alexios. I know a lot of these top guys do, so he might have an indication of when he's clicked. He can make a couple decisions here. Either push before the upgrades come in, or fall back and try and get the upgrades yourself with a little bit of later time. Nice micro from both.
A really nice micro from Alexios here. 9 seconds of TC idle time against the 115 from Khosrow. Khosrow definitely struggled, but splits continue. Now, unlike other island games, the more diverse games we've seen, this might just be it, folks. This might be one big fight and then done. Advancing as Alexios, splitting as Alexios, but he's got Khosrow backed up towards his production here. And this is something beautiful. Look at both of them dance here. This is 30 seconds away from upgrades for Alexios and about 60 seconds away from Khosrow. So, like you said, Dave, if Khosrow isn't taking better engagements, you can see him lose this once the upgrades come in for Alexios.
Dude, Alexios is just farming galleys at the moment. 10 to 6 KD is actually quite a big deal here as the Castle Age comes in. And Khosrow is trying to get as much value as he can against just galleys before the upgrades, but he realizes he can't. Might back away soon before Bodcanero comes in. Bodcanero, really, really dangerous technology.
So it's a small thing, but what Khosrow just did is he pushed forward, so he would have a couple extra seconds to retreat and thus get his own upgrades. That to me was intentional. He had a couple dodges there when he knew it was dangerous.
Can't afford War Galley though. Or it's behind other galleys. Okay, there's War Galley right there. There's Bodkin. 2 additional town centers. Khosrow got 200 wood from getting to the next stage with Dravidians, which is going to help with that. And he's actually done a really smart thing here. He's kind of mixed up his approach. So he ran with the fishing ships to keep them safe. They're not working at the moment, but he ran with them. And then he's going to hit the docks from Alexios so that Alexios has to come back from his own dock foundations.
And what this does is it keeps your docks up if you're Khosrow, so you could still produce, but
careening
numbers
right
advantage
away.
for Alexios. Is careening worth it in a War Galley war?
I guess. It's Italian.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, I suppose.
Yeah, so it adds armor,
so, but
you normally only see it for fires, which honestly, if he thinks he's ahead, he should add fires to shred the docks anyways. But yeah, it is Italian's cheaper dock tech, so it makes sense to get that. Khosrow is definitely not going to be getting that as Khosrow tries this strategy yet again. But Alexios has collected 1,500 more resources. It is not just the micro. It is his beautiful, beautiful eco balance behind this, which is half the battle in this game, right? It's so impressed with how he's played there on one of Khosrow's best maps.
Beautiful, beautiful eco balance. He's got 2 farms, bro.
No, listen, I'm looking at the amount on food. Beautiful. That's all that matters here.
All right.
I'm looking at the amount on food, all right? The amount on food is solid. That's what you'll take. But I guess the 14 on food is mainly berries and a couple fishing
Once
chips
those
right
berries
now.
run out, I like the fact he's taking the shorefish with the villagers. That's really nice. But once those berries and the shorefish run out, I mean, things are going to be rough. And that War Galley army is looping around back towards that woodline that's near the shoreline from Alexios. I think he's lost track of this War Galley army.
Yeah, I think he has as well. And Khosrow's losing his docks.
The vills away. Oh no.
The villager goes down. Not the end of the world when you still have the fish. I really have been... I know that Khosrow's behind, but really impressive job from him to stay in the game by recognizing he needed to branch his navy into different areas. And it keeps him in this. It gives him a chance to come back on water in the Imperial Age or late Castle Age, instead of just taking one big fight and then losing and then being like, okay, GG. This doesn't work for us.
He needs to realize that his woodline is exposed at the back because the galleys from blue are moving around back of his island, but looks like he's safe there. I think the advantage right now I see for Khosrow is that he got his food eco sorted before Alexios, and Alexios might have some problems here getting the villagers out, but that's a nice find from Alexios to ambush this navy.
There was a transport ship in queue for Khosrau. I'm not sure if he lost it at his dock or he decided to cancel it at the dock. But Khosrau with no loom, and Khosrau doesn't see this, and Khosrau loses his entire wood line. Alexios Komnenos about to be up 20 eco in this game, and he also is up 20 military.
Oh, no, you have to be tracking that. He just noticed the wood line, probably. He looked back there for a second, saw all of the death and destruction. He noticed he didn't have loom, and GG is called. 2-1 for Alexios. Great job on Alexios with those early galley battles, and then the faster uptime was sick.
Look at the eco count. I know we kind of joked about the EFR, but he's ahead in everything, and he also was ahead in the fights. That is not easy. Usually, you're able to, if you micro better, you macro worse. That is sometimes how it pans out because you only have so much time, as so much energy, so much in you as a player. But those were the pickoffs right there. But even at this point, he had done such a good job to click up to Castle Age without using his market, as far as I'm aware.
Yep.
And this is like, for who we think Khosrau is, right? For who the community has voted Khosrau as thus far in Hidden Cup. If this is the Viper as Khosrau, Islands was his map for years. He would go to, he would take you to Islands, he would slap you around, he would have a win on the board, and then life would go on, and you would have to find wins elsewhere. Alexios,
there was like two
after
players
a rough start,
that could fight him
has
on
won
it.
2 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like Fire and Riot. That's it. That would be competitive with him. So, or maybe like Jordan in his peak, but I mean, comfort zone pick no more, right? Alexios making it happen on Islands once again, and now it's up to Khosrau to pick a home map. Wouldn't surprise me if he went to one of Alexios's home maps. Now they're both changing colors. Okay.
Well, we'll change it back here. We're really, thank God that Capture Age has this feature where we're allowed to do this. But Alexios has changed his color yet again here, and we're going to change it back. So, listen, we leaned into it this Hidden Cup, the whole color thing, and I am just thinking more and more right now that Alexios is leery. And Khosrau, gone for the Chinese. I mean, a big surprise of this draft for me was that with that free pick at the start when Chinese wasn't banned and Mudflow being one of the maps, it was a shock that we didn't see Chinese as well from Alexios. So he clearly thinks he can break the Chinese. So I'm going to have you repeat yourself, but what's the goal here for the Magyars? You're going to be behind an eco. How do you get the job done here?
Keep them off of food. There's a lot of food initially, and he's not even luring in the elephants yet, so a little bit late there for Khosrau, but I guess he wants to keep that Chinese town center running. So there's a lot of food around the town center with the fish and with the elephants and with the water buffalo coming in if they don't get lamed. However, when that runs out, you're going to have to go somewhere extremely exposed on these plateaus around that the pond surrounding the TC. And if the Magyars are there with Spearmen, if the Magyars are there with Scouts, they can really, really stall out the eco from their opponent. And I think that's incredibly important against Chinese.
I also think on the flip side with Chinese, you have to remember, you have the Villager Lead, right? You have cheaper technologies. You can actually get away with not getting horse color right away. A lot of people will like to get it, but I'm actually, if you have to choose between horse color and army, I would say choose army here, because as long as you defend the early wave of Magyars, you can delay that upgrade. And eventually, if this turns into knights and camels and eco for the Chinese, I mean, Magyars don't have an eco bonuses to speak of. And I feel like Khosrau's approach will be defense first. Did that elephant just get shot by the TC?
No.
By Khosrau?
No. He killed it with the Vils. He killed it with the Vils. Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Okay, I thought for a second. Poof. Okay, false alarm. Never mind.
Blind. T90 blind.
Dude, I saw the Vils leave the body, and I guess they were finishing the other elephant first, so. All right. Well, we'll likely be scouts. What do you think about the dock? I'm going to go back to my opinion during the qualifier, and I think we've actually seen too much docking. I would like to see players just focus on their scouts and spears, and then late feudal, that's when it feels natural to me to mix in a dock. and start spamming a couple demos.
I honestly think if you're going to dock, you just got to go super spearman production, and you got a wall at the same time, right? You can't do dock, stable, spears all at the same time. You're mixing up too much. You don't have enough resources. That's a late feudal type of thing for you. It all depends on whether you have the walls down, whether you have the spears to protect your berries. If that's the case, then you could go for that dock and try and get good pressure.
Okay, this is the fastest scout build we have seen so far. This is 16 eco.
17 pop. Oh,
17
man.
pop. This is so extreme, and you've got so little eco that I honestly think that we will see no eco upgrades. People normally just get double bid-X at the very least, but I'm not sure that he can justify making scouts, getting the eco upgrades, and whatever else on this build. This is really fast from Alexios.
I mean, it feels bad when you can't afford the wood upgrade, not because of the food, but because of the wood. It feels really bad. Like, how's he gonna get that barracks up and then get the stable up in time? And there's the dock from Khosrau, and the scout from Alexios will see that dock immediately. Now you can already see kind of where the walls want to come up. Maybe a trap. But this is a Magyar scout. Okay. He doesn't expect him to be up this early. That Magyar scout could punish him for this trap.
Khosrau traps the scout, Dave. That's not getting punished. Whoever Khosrau is, he is an experienced trapper. He is a scout trapper extraordinaire, and he will kill the starting scout. He will keep his vills alive, and what a beautiful play from Khosrau.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. He had that in his head from the moment that scout passed the dock foundation, and now Alexios is sitting here as Khosrau opens with a galley and starts to harass the villagers that are stonewalling. Alexios doesn't really have the food to make more than like one scout. So he doesn't even have a starting one to help him out. This is terrible.
Okay, it would be the most present day Viper thing ever to go for the big trap and then not have villagers protected when the scouts come. I'm just saying, like, you got to get some spearmen out here, Khosrau. You can't just work with galleys here. He is going to have a galley on the way. But that was a Viper confirmed moment. We'll see if the spears are out. There's the barracks now for Khosrau. But two scouts soon on the way here from Alexios.
Yeah, there's no food under the TC soon for Khosrau. He's on the berries at the back, but you need the spearmen going there right away, unless you can get away with the quick walls against these scouts. Now, he was fortunate, or rather good, to take out the initial one, so it's only going to be 2 scouts forward at the moment. But still, there is reason for concern here for Khosrau.
I'm seeing some sloppiness. Like, that house isn't finished. And I think he believes, he's microing here. Oh, no, the galley gets through. Disaster for Alexios. Khosrau is housed, but the galley is being a pain, dude. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, let him rest. Alexios must be so annoyed right now. Dude, his whole wood line is trying to complete those walls because of one galley.
And there's a starting scout there from Khosrau too, but no spearmen over on this side. Great walls. Great walls on that side. He'll pull these vills back to the town center. Remember, he still has the villager advantage from Chinese earlier, but that's an amazing block from Alexios. Oh my God, that villager couldn't take a step.
And that's what the Magyars need to continue to do here. Alexios was able to get the wood upgrade. He's been able to protect his wood line. He knows there will be spearmen, but if the Magyar scouts can move around, if they can find the right positions, that could lead to Alexios finally having some potential. And we've got a sneaky range here from Alexios. I really like that decision. He knows his opponent doesn't have scouts, is going to even deny the stable. If he gets even one archer out as he splits these scouts away, this could be devastating for Khosrau's farming eco.
Yeah, it really could be, but Khosrau still has that eco lead, a pretty significant one, 700 more resources collected.
Crazy.
Right? And he's going to have that stable up. He's going to have the knowledge that the scouts are over there. And finally, the spearman numbers are here. I love the fact that Khosrau just keeps producing spearmen. If you have the food for it, just keep making them, right? You need spearmen everywhere. You need like 12.
Because at this point, one spearman in one spot's not enough. It needs to be at least 2. And then it might need to be 3 if the archers show up. Now he's looking. Khazral's looking to see, is he going archers yet? Is he on gold yet? Hasn't seen a thing. And he's going to see this archer, and he's going to panic being down 2-1 right now. That is his food eco, and he's going to drop a tower. We've got more spearmen on the way, but a beautiful attack here from Alexios. He's going to take the fight against the spears.
Only one archer. It's a disaster for Alexios.
Oh! I couldn't tell it was dying there. And you're right. I mean, in the end, Khazra holds. He will have his own scouts, and this play does not pan out for Alexios.
One villager is not enough. You got to kill like 4 vills when you first reveal your archers, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge advantage for you. And there's the market there from Khazra. Khazra still has scouts in the back. He didn't use the scouts in defense. He sent the initial one forward. That's a level of confidence there that I love to see.
Like, Khazra fought off that whole army with vills and a couple spears, and simultaneously had the correct amount building the tower. If the timing was wrong, if he misclicked with anything there, it could have been disastrous. And here he defends as well. And again, Dave, confidence from Khazra here. He hasn't taken heavy losses with the Chinese. His eco's looking better. And now Alexios kind of has that weird range on the side. I mean, I guess it isn't something that Khazra knows, but it doesn't do anything for him right now.
This is just a level of calmness dealing with this push that you really need when playing Chinese against Magyars. You just need the fundamentals, right? The walls around your wood line, the dock position there so that Alexios can't really come in, the spearman production, and then the scouts going forward, which makes things so difficult for Alexios because then he has to keep a spearman forward or at the back. He wants them forward.
Yep. Villager down just like that. So after everything that has happened, it is 1-1 on the eco KD. Res collected still much higher here for Khazra, who looks to tie it up. I love the patience from Khazra. Am curious what's going to happen with those archers on the side. If those archers can get to the gold from Khazra. Khazra, he did make a tower there, actually. Wow, he actually bought stone to make a tower, so he knows he's vulnerable, but still could be problematic. Scouts and archers is devastating, and Alexios is a player who dominated the Chinese in the previous round with that. Oh, wow. Even Bloodlines
that's
right
a
now.
lot of
What
scouts.
in the world?
That's a lot of scouts. The spearmen, oh man, but 5 spearmen already. Just keep making spears, dude. Don't stop. Don't stop making spears. Just keep making them. Please. We need I said 12, 11, 12.
I mean, the spears are out of position.
Yeah.
They're chasing, but they're still slow. And this is why we might need more. Now, remember, the spears are going to chase, and the archers can come in on the other side. And Khazra's going to quick wall, which we know he can do. But the archers are just moments away, Dave.
Oh,
and
boy.
this could lead to 2 dead villas. Khazra needs to run right away. He has no counter damage. He wants to go Castle Age. I don't think he knew the range was there. That one archer before was confusing for him. The attack comes in, a villager goes down, another villager will go down, and Alexios is right back in the game, dude.
Yeah, Alexios has all the pressure here. There's a tower on either side as Khazra still tries to be annoying with these scouts forward. Still has a villager lead. So 1 tower protecting the farms, 1 tower protecting the gold supply on the other side, but still, I mean,
but
we're going to need some more spearmen. We're going to need some scouts.
He does it like he lost the 1 mil with the berries, so he had to make a new one for farms. These farms here, half of them are vacant, and he's trying to buy food to go up. I think we all know that that's only going to work for so long here. If Khazra doesn't click up to Castle Age, or sorry, Dave, if he doesn't have defensive army, he's going to die to a full feudal. Genuinely. Yeah. The towers do not protect everything on this map.
I love the way he pre-walled in that tower, though, because he didn't want the archers sitting underneath. So he pre-walled the tower to give them no opportunity and then deletes the wall for that villager to get in. Castle Age is on the way. Now we're on a timer for Alexios. Can Khazra survive until he gets to Castle Age? Great gate and a house too! Oh, boy!
He can't help himself. This Khazra guy can't help himself. But here come the scouts. Bloodlines is in. Forging is in. Armor is in. And Khazra just doesn't have army. And quick gates and quick palisades are not going to protect him here. Villagers are going down. He's lost 6. He'll lose 7. He might lose an 8th here. Oh man,
Oh,
and Dave,
disaster.
he's on his
Archers
way
are dying,
up,
but so are
but
Vills.
he's losing more, and he doesn't have the resources.
God.
He's not going to have any resources when he makes it to Castle Age. He's lost 12 villagers this game.
That's what you get for just mistiming it, not producing military, right? And I said Alexios is on a timer. Well, not so much anymore. Now Khosrau is on a timer for how quickly Alexios can get to the Castle Age and start making knights himself, because knights would be absolutely brutal.
Alexios is like, it looks hilarious how much he's about to try and wall, but he's like, as long as I don't die now to whatever he does in Castle Age, I win this game and I go up 3-1. So he has 2.5 minutes to wait. Khosrau's making a second stable. He can maybe make 2 knights, and those 2 knights could do a lot. I don't know if you can really full wall all of this, but he's got to try. And Khosrau has just played so greedy here. Like, he never really made a ton of offensive army here. And I also don't think he recognized that the range was there. The first archer, I think he thought was kind of just like a random archer that walked across the map. Don't think he expected that side attack.
Yeah, Camel's coming out now, so the scouts aren't really going to find much value for the remainder of Feudal Age, but Castle Age is only 1 minute and 25 seconds away for Alexios, and Khosrau is unable to go for that second town center just yet, so not even catching up really on the villager count to a significant degree.
If you can get the second TC behind a couple of Vil picks from these Camels and these Knights, suddenly you're feeling better about the position for Khosrau.
The walls are up on time.
It is Chinese. Yep.
But,
well, not for that
really,
villager.
Really solid here from Alexios. He's going to lose 1 villager, but could have lost so much more if he was open.
I'm not convinced, dude. This is a lot of army coming. It still looks open. It's a big area to wall. Whoa! I'm really worried for Alexios. I'm really worried. You got a quick wall. You got a quick house. You got to build everything. You got to bring everybody because you don't have an army to protect this yet. I think Alexios actually gets the job done, and now he can make his own army. But man, was that close.
What a great job from him. The timing was just right on point, wasn't it? Light Cav coming in now. We've got fletching on the way. Those palisades will go down pretty quick, and there's a second town center now. Fort Khosrau as he goes forward with monks to collect relics.
Dude, this is so Viper. This is so Viper. Like, enemies Magyars and has scouts out there that are probably going to be upgraded to light cap. And what do? We just send a monk to the middle of the map
getting relics.
To get a relic. That is Viper confirmed. Like, Viper in 2024, in a nutshell, playing greedy, not making a lot of army, relying on quick walls, and still going for the relics, and getting the relic. Like, on paper, that is not a good move there, Khosrau. But he's going to get it. And the Vil count, 41 to 50. I can see the Chinese coming back from this. 2 TCs. The Vil count's climbing. Crazy.
You have the camels. You have the knights, sure. You got some monks. You got some TCs, whatever. I'd still love to see some additional walls here from Khosrau, just to prevent the mobility of those light cav and those knights, right? You can't just rely on yourself to be constantly garrisoning villagers. At some point, you got to funnel it into a spot where you actually want to fight. For
normal humans, yes. But I feel like Khosrau, for Khosrau, he's like, 5 villagers could just hop into the tower and I'm fine. Is he fine though? No, he loses a villager.
No.
But he's going to lose another villager now because he didn't have the walls. He didn't have the army here. Nice snipes there from Alexios. The end, Khosrau, though, still does have the army here to defend from it. Now has 3 TCs. Res collected a bit higher for Alexios.
War Galley is
not
in
crazy.
From Alexios, and he's massing.
Ooh.
And he's coming forward towards that wood line. I don't think there's a solution for the War Galleys from Khosrau. There's no solution to this.
Oh, if only he would have shown up with a demo, too. Like, you sit the War Galleys behind the wood line, and then you get a demo where they have to flee. Wow. Well, those Vils just need to leave. You just can't take wood there anymore. Wood is off limits there. I do remember Khosrau being up against ships in his series against King Stephen. And he was able to be okay and just take the wood line on the top here as he goes for a quick wall. But he showed his hand with that monk. And now he's trying to protect it. There he gets some kills.
You know what, though?
Vil count. Still close.
It's almost very similar to that fight against King Steven in that he's been pushed off the middle, like you said. He's kind of catching up in Vills. We look at the res collected. It's still pretty close for the situation he was in. And he's collecting relics and setting himself up for the late game. 3 town center versus 2. The Vill count will be even soon. It'll be even soon. And it's only the first wood upgrade for Alexios. And what are
He's
you
getting relics
collecting this relic for?
And he's gonna be on the 4th TC now. So he's gonna have like 3 or 4 relics.
That's not where you're supposed to be.
It's okay, Dave. I know. I get the frustration. And I think everyone watching as well understands that Khazra plays by different rules here. And, I mean, does he have another monk on the right corner? I'm seeing movement over there. Who knows? He's looking around for relics, certainly. Actually, right now, Khazra is in the way better position. He's got 4 TCs. He'll have relics collected. He's got, in my opinion, the better civilization. And I don't know how. It's just, the greed is paid off. He lost so many vills, and he's still okay. Incredible to stabilize.
I mean, Alexios could have done a lot of things differently, but he did so much well in that feudal age transition. Yep. And he did so much damage, and he's just not able to capitalize on it. And Khazra is like, oh, he saw me. Oh, I better go to the corner. Gotta get this home.
But dude, that monk's gonna get home, and he's gonna be like, guys, you're not gonna believe what I saw out there.
And he's gonna spot the other relic over there too. He's gonna spot the other relic. He might drop this one off before he goes to the monastery and go back and get that one.
Dude, honestly, at what point do you just make a ram for that? That's like 20 houses right there. I think you take those houses down, and Alexios could actually have some problems. But let's not forget Alexios has had solid map control. He's on 3 TCs. I think if Magyars get to recurve bow cav archers, the Chinese don't have much of an answer. That has got to be your go-to. But the knights and the camels could be a problem. Oh, man.
I don't think many civs have an answer to recurve bow cav archers. That's kind of the that's the thing with the Magyars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's very expensive to get into. You need a lot of time, and you're going to need a lot of gold access. And I'm not sure he's going to have that. The camels are hanging out here. There is a demo involved. We don't have town watch yet from Khazra, I don't believe. And as he comes out for the war galleys, the demo will be there. Oh,
that is Leary. That is 100% Leary being like, does this work? How much damage does this demo do? I've never done this before. Dude, if he had the demo against the camels, that would have been really nice. But okay, it didn't work out. The foundation didn't go down, and we've got Khazra making navy, and he's got access to wood again towards the middle.
Oh no, the monastery with the relics in it. It's near the war galleys.
Oh, no true, way. Dave. I'm pretty sure. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right. That's an important thing to look at. Khazra's going to get armor now. Okay, so at what point, though, is Khazra going to counterattack? Right? Eventually, it feels like there's going to be this big, resource count floating, and it's going to be imp, or we're going to have some army. But he really has not been aggressive at all. I guess this is the answer. No, it's
just Navy. It's just Navy, and I don't think Navy's the play right now. If you watch that game from Khazra yesterday, he won on land when the other player focused Navy. And it feels like Magyars just kind of aren't playing towards their strengths at the moment. As the university goes up in the back, both players prepping for Imperial Age. Khazra is still playing incredibly open.
I think that as we see some beautiful quick walls here from Khazra, I think that Alexios can force his opponent's hand in the middle on water and then raid with light cav on the sides. That could be good. Like your best spend on gold right now, on wood and gold is water, and then with food is land. And I think he's prepping for imp. And sure, that's a tower there for Khazra, but the castle and the tower is not enough to fully protect the wood situation. And there goes Alexios.
Nice fish trap,
Alexios
bro.
is up.
What is he fish trapping for? Why did he make fish?
Because he was like,
what?
I mean, it's something, dude. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. It's hidden cup. It's mind games. He's trying to make people think he's somebody else.
I just
mean,
wonder if
heck,
that stone wall, if the idea behind that stone wall was like, oh, long term, I'm going to have 30 fish traps here.
Yeah, maybe.
And then he realizes
I
when he's
could
in the
see
middle
it.
of the game, no, it's not working.
You just don't have, even Alexios doesn't have the APM. Khosrau, though, finds some counter damage. And Khosrau is going to have those relics in a safer monastery now. I just saw him relocating them. Great snipes there with the
moved
knights.
them. That's ridiculous that he actually moved them in the middle of this game when he's trying to go up to Imp. He's like, yeah, those aren't the safest. Let's put them somewhere else.
I think the Khosrau needs to prepare for life without wood. He needs to take the outer wood lines again because he is trying to take this wood towards the middle. And he doesn't have enough navy right now, Dave. He just really doesn't. And that is such an aggressive castle there from Alexios. He might build trebs from the middle. Keep in mind, the stone is all in the middle as well. There's no stone on the outer ring, so it's not just the water. There's also the stone. And Khosrau, another raid on the sides will deny this TC possibly, which could mean less access to gold.
99.
Here for Alexios.
It goes up.
There we go.
It goes up. That was sick. Nice job from Alexios to get that completed. And there's the castle. And oh no. Okay, the fires sometimes, if they're attacking, can deny it. Not going to happen.
He sees it. Yeah, he sees it. He'll bring the navy over. It shouldn't be that big a deal for Alexios. Such a sick job from him. It's incredible. They're both hitting Imp at the same time here. I mean, the fact that Khosrau survived what we thought was a game-ending blow earlier is mind-blowing to me. But Alexios has maintained the eco lead. He still has a very strong force through the middle that has to be respected. And it seems like the plan for Khosrau is to raid the sides, which I don't hate, but at a certain point, you have to address the middle. And he cannot deal with the middle right now with what he has.
Yeah, he's just going to have to keep lumber camping the sides, I suppose. Yep. And he hasn't noticed the villagers being attacked by those war galleys. Galleon tech coming in with Magyars is not what I would expect on this map, but it's what we've gotten. This has been an incredible game so far. And now more docks being added in from Khosrau. Could go fast fire ship to try and push all of this back.
You either need to have big attacks going on the sides right now if you're Khosrau, or as he tries to convert ships, you need to have a fight back in the middle. It has been so delayed this game. The army that typically we see so much of here on Mudflow, and Alexios has made him pay. I don't even think we're that far removed. A nice raid there from Khosrau. From Alexios finishing the game with the Trebor in the middle. He's got Trebs there on that castle. We could see cannon galleons soon from the middle.
Yep.
Beautiful play. He's like, have your relics. I'm just going to take full army control.
168 versus 125 population.
Khosrau won the first game. Ever since, Alexios just shot out of a cannon, dude. And remember, like, Alexios didn't really play like this in game number 1. I'm glad he's gone back to his approach. He's just still waiting for something. Oh, no, don't do it, Khosrau. I made a bet. Khosrau, you freaking... Khosrau needs something desperate. And I made a bet in Hidden Cup qualifiers that if we ever saw the heavy demo tech in Hidden Cup 5, that I would gift subs. And I guess this is the moment to try it, Dave, because you need something that is untypical to work for him right now. And heavy demo tech will complete.
3 seconds left. There it is. He might be able to snipe the Trebs. He gets one Treb. Halb tech did come in behind this for Alexios. The Halbs are not near the Trebs, though, and those light cav just need to keep running as the heavy demos are coming out from Khosrau. Is it enough to keep him safe? Still feels like Alexios has all the options that he needs.
Well, so heavy demos are going to have the booms, but you need to get in close to the galleons. And that's actually not something Alexios is going to be that scared of, because you could just patrol in with your ships, and you're going to still kill those demos. That looks like micro from Khosrau to try and dodge the shots, but it just seems like desperation from Khosrau, in all honesty.
150 pop. 150 pop. Now he keeps rising slowly but steadily. Eco's at 134 villagers now. He's still taking wood from the outside. And the demos are running along, or rather sailing along that shoreline.
They're going for the
They're
eco.
going for the wood line.
Oh, dude, I'm actually Oh,
Oh,
no.
Castle
He
that.
sees the Castle
Okay.
Foundation, dude. Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, no. Oh, God.
oh,
Is he
there's
gonna
so
do it?
many too.
Yeah,
No, he's going
gonna go
after
for
the main army. He's
galleons.
going to distract them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to go after the galleons. Oh, man. Oh, geez. Oh,
With the
geez.
Trebs!
The demos. The demos hit the Trebs. The Trebs
And the
are now
cannon galleon.
down. And Khosrau is back from the dead again. He is... Oh, God, he can hit these too. He's going to go for that castle with his Trebs, Dave. Here we go. Heavy demos on the galleons. Oh, geez.
One of them got converted.
not what you
One of them
wanted.
got converted. He should have sent one for the monks. You got to take care of the
Oh
monks
my
first.
God.
He converted a
What
demo
was
and
that?
it blew everything up, but there's more demos
What?
coming in.
I mean, the demos are going to get their hits. The Trebs need to be repaired here for Khosrau. He loses one of his Trebs. This is madness. Alexios with a big population lead. The cannon galleons, though, from Alexios. There for the Treb. Monk gets sniped. It feels like Khosrau wanted to have taken care of a castle here. He wasn't able to do that. But, I mean, galleon upgrade for him. He has 4 relics, Dave. He has a similar eco count. It does feel like Khosrau could possibly still win this game.
The population keeps on going up. It's getting more and more competitive. Khosrau just needs to keep all of this pressure away from his economy. He needs to start banking resources. He's going into galleon himself now. The demos caused some problems here for Alexios. But with the galleon mass completely surrounding him, Khosrau is not finding the engagements that he needs with those anymore. So he'll need to switch onto something else.
Alexios has done everything right, in my opinion, except for raid the sides. At this point, I think the galleons just hold the middle. If you start to stream Lightcav into the sides of Khosrau's eco, Khosrau has not had stone. He has no ability to defend from that with castles. So that's the key. That's how you win this game. And if you're Khosrau, you got to push mid. You got to push mid now, because if you take the middle back, then suddenly you're unexposed on the sides. You don't need the sides. You could go through the middle. But there's 2 castles there for Alexios.
Even if you take the mid back, though, even if you take it back, you're still going to be exposed on the sides to the light cap raids. Like, really, really solid job here. As Khosrau tries to treb down the cannon galleons, he misses.
Look at that. We see hussars already from Alexios. Alexios, he's pushing, and it has felt inevitable at times that Alexios is going to win this game, go up 3-1, limited stone, no stone for Khosrau. He's going to have to buy stone. His castle could still go down. I think Khosrau is going to get picked apart here. That, having said that, his population's really high. He actually notices this castle's going up.
It's
so
getting
maybe he
closer
could delay
in
that.
population, bro.
I don't know how,
this whole
dude.
game, it was 190 to like 120 at one point. And now it's only 15 difference as he has Lightcav over here trying to deny this castle. He's calmly, coolly, collectively pushing this back, but Alexios now has castles to secure all of his eco. It doesn't have to worry about the raids. All he has to do is focus on the sides, and he's done it. Khosrau, even though the pop was climbing for him, realizes can't do anything. Well done,
Just
Alexios.
had no control. Just had no control. And honestly, Khosrau gave up so much control in feudal to get to Castle Age, and I'm surprised it even went that long. The fact that he got those relics, the fact that he boomed like that is just because of how good he is at soaking up the pressure. But Alexios kept bringing the pressure. Think about what he brought that game. We had sneak archers. We had scouts. We had spears. He had to stone wall at some points. And we also had galleons, monks. Like, pretty much Alexios had to send everything at him. And this is like, the plan here for Khosrau was, no army in Castle Age, I win this game. And Alexios showed up with fully upgraded Magyar scouts. I know that the game went on a lot longer, but this to me is kind of the moment that gave Alexios the big lead. And then here's the demos. The problem with the demos, though, folks, is it's a one-and-done unit. Unlike the galleons, you get one chance at it. That was a good highlight.
You got to go after
this
the monks
conversion
here.
Was crazy. Let's see this.
Yeah, you
one
got to
gets
go after the
converted
monks with one demo. Yeah.
Boom! Wow. Dude, I was a little confused what happened there. But 5 demos got taken out by one that got converted. That was disgusting. I'm a bit nervous right now at what we're seeing. I mean, we don't know who the players are, but Gurjara's from Khosrau. And we had speculated a little bit about this pick. We thought maybe it was going to be used as a counter pick of some kind. For the first time ever, We are seeing the Gurjaras played here on Bay, and it is Mongols for Alexios on the other side here, Dave. So what do you think the thinking is here for Khosrow picking the Gurjaras?
I honestly, I mean, I guess their fishing ships can garrison in the dock, but if you go for, actually, he won't even go for a dock because he's going to go for a mill first. So
Yeah.
he might not even make any fishing ships this game. He'll just go for the land pressure right away, and that'll force Alexios to also respect that and have some defensive military too.
And then maybe Alexios changes his entire plan. So just to explain how the Gurjaras work here, because it's unique, you can garrison your sheep inside of your mill with the Gurjaras, and it gives you a slow trickle of food. To take advantage of that bonus, you obviously want to make a mill right away, but that means you delay the lumber camp. And if you delay the lumber camp, then you don't have the wood, then you don't have the dock, then you don't have the fish. But while I like the idea of going aggressive on land here and trying to take the fight to the Mongols, I think it's super easy for the Mongol player to be like, oh, okay, I have a hunt bonus. I'm going to have a dock. You won't. I can just make a couple fishing ships, not have to worry about you being on water, and defend on land. So it's so tricky. I just don't think you can let someone free fish boom, but maybe you kind of have to here with the Gurjaras.
What if you go for the mill there first, right? You get that nice little trickle of food. Obviously, you're not going to be able to go for the dock super early. Then you go up to feudal age. Your opponent is staying wary of you with their scout because you have the camel scout, right? So they're going to stay away from your base in general. With that, they won't know if you're going land or not. And then you sneak a couple docks once you get to feudal.
I love that.
And take
Okay,
that water
I have an
away.
idea. I have a very specific idea. I think you're going to love this, okay? So the plan will still be to go aggressive on land, but as you're bringing your two villagers towards the middle, towards the opponent, you build your dock on the edge towards the middle, which is an area he won't be scouting. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm not so sure about sending the two vills forward in the first place.
Okay.
I like it.
I like it. A sneak dock.
I like it.
Yeah, okay.
Grill Master 90. Here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
don't burn the food.
Right there. This area. This is what I'm talking about. If you're bringing vills forward anyways. If we could see the rest of the map, though, really what typically happens is the game goes late when it's very close. And it's very expansive and it's very pansive, as some people say. So the gold, the stone, the hunt that's out there, all very important. If the game goes to the Imperial Age, I have a few games in my mind where I recall the Elite Travamsha rider wrecking Mangadai, which might be what Khosrow is thinking here with the Gurjara pick. So how are you going to get there if the Mongols have such an early lead on
I
you
have
is
a
kind of the
game
question.
in my mind. If you remember, I forget what specific map it was on, but 40 Mangadai dying to... you know what I'm talking about. 40 Mangadai dying to the Chakram throwers. Yeah, and there's the redock. Okay, so he's going for the strat. There's or not the redock, the first dock. So he's going to contest the water. Alexios will just assume maybe that there's no dock there, and he's staying away from Khosrow's base because he doesn't want to mess with that camel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Camel Scout commands a lot of respect. I think that was Tato against ACCM in Titans League, that game on Ravines or whatever. So Doc goes up. Khosrow could consider a second, but it feels like he's up so quickly that it won't be a second right away if he wants to make ships. Thank you, Stats Guy, for continuing to work yourself out of a job. We've got the second dock. Now, we're going to see fires, I assume. And here comes Alexios. Alexios is like, is he on the water? Okay, he's on water. Oh, crap, that's a Camel Scout. And is not going to like the fact that he just took that hit from the all-important Camel Scout.
So 2 docks against 1? Because Alexios wasn't really planning on seriously contesting. He's now going up for that second dock. And that means you've pushed the Mongols away from their earlier fire galley mass. And you've pushed them away from maybe the early scout pressure or early archer pressure that they sometimes come out with. So really, really solid economy behind this from Khosrow. and also good production from the docks early. I like it.
Now, there is a style thing, a style preference, I suppose, when it comes to the Gujaras, where some players are split. Some players are going to keep those sheep or those geese inside of that mill forever, but other people start to pull them out of that mill at this point. And I would say, like, Viper, Hato are two players that come to mind. Maybe Dow
Demo coming.
as players who like to pull the sheep out of the mill. If we see an opportunity to look over there, we'll show you. But here comes the demo, dude. If you get two villagers
repairing,
here,
oh god,
not gonna happen.
He goes for the
not gonna
fire.
happen.
Oh man.
But I mean, still a really good moment there. You still kill a ship. It looks like all the geese are still in the mill. But more fires on the way. So just a fire galley war, but still 2 fishing ships for Alexios.
Yeah, and there's a villager coming to repair. That scout is forward, but with the fires there, the scout can't really fight that villager. This camel scout is also forward for Khosrau.
Dave.
Looking for sheep to
land. A minute of TC idle time for
wow.
Khosrau. Down 2 vills because of his own doing or undoing, I guess. Very, very rough there with the food eco for Khosrau, which is so rare at this level. Like, we have not seen that been a common theme here in Hidden Cup.
He's trying to
it's
snipe
so important.
Doesn't get it.
Yep. We'll see. Big fire galley battle. Now, of course, we just become used to people not making that mistake. But when it's this messy, when there's so many things happening, it's understandable. That demo lands. They trade evenly. And then there's another demo coming forward now for Khosrau, who has to try and save his villager. Villagers also there. There's a lot happening. There's the demo split away. The scout went down, but so did the villager there. Now the fish will go down too,
now the fishing ships are dying, and the water control is in favor of Khosrau. Now Khosrau, if he makes fishing ships behind this, if he feels like he's taken full control of the water and his opponent's not going to contest, he can garrison his fish inside of the docks, so he can keep them safe, and some random fire galleys won't be coming around and sniping them down.
Well, this is what Khosrau wanted. He didn't want the Mongol fast feudal to have that big of a payoff. He's killed the 2 fishing ships. It was only 2 fishing ships. The scout is now gone for Alexios, and Alexios is just going to wall up. Now, earlier in Hidden Cup, Alexios chose to go for archers with the Mongols, so we should... They're going to macro for now. He might like squeeze out a couple fires to try and kill Khosrau's fish if they do come. But I'm really curious on what Alexios chooses for an army comp, especially knowing that the Shravamsha rider is going to be out there for the Gujaras.
And now he's making fish. He's going to be so comfortable with Gajara fish here. Like nothing in feudal other than a YOLO demo, which you're fine, you know, trading a fishing ship for, is going to be able to take those out because you can just garrison them. And now the camel is even getting some value, trying to deny the walls.
And he's going to be the biggest nerd ever, right? Like if your opponent doesn't have a scout and you have a scout, objective number 1 is just use that scout to annoy your opponent as much as possible. Speaking of annoying, Alexios had his fire wedged behind the dock, but yeah, it seems like that fire is going to be chased away here. Okay, first moment I think I've seen Gurjara fish get garrisoned competitively in like a year. It is not a bonus you see all the time.
What's the odds of this fire actually killing that? There we go. Hop in.
There we go.
Nice. Get out. Nice.
How many times have you seen that, if you think, competitively?
Oh, man. I try competitively. I think I've seen it a couple times. Very, very rare, right? I've tried to do that so many. I've tried to fish boom on Nomad, just thinking, oh, I'll make 20 fish, no navy, and I'll just garrison all of it. You can't keep up. You can't keep up, dude. Well, and then it's like, just sit there with 10 fishing ships in a dock and watch it slowly burn, you know?
Okay, so I was casting a community game. Now, this person's going to be really upset if they're here. It's likely they are. And because with the Gurjaras, you can put the sheep inside of mills and get some food income, a player thought that you could put fishing ships inside of docks and just keep them garrisoned and you would get food, right? So I'm casting and I look and I see 4 docks filled with 15 fishing ships. With this guy had 45 pop, or wait, no, I guess that'd be 60. 60 pop inside of docks, just chilling there
You
for,
know,
for a really
dude,
long time until someone
Bro.
pointed out, like, hey, bro, you know that does nothing for you? And he was like, what?
dude, you know that guy's just sitting at home while he's doing it. He's like, oh man, the YouTube video is gonna be insane. T90 is never gonna expect this.
Oh, man. I mean, lucky for that individual, I don't remember their name, but I do remember the moment. And I could see why they were confused. But yeah, don't go putting fishing ships inside your docks unless it's to avoid danger, guys. Wow.
Okay,
well,
late game. Gajara's
yeah,
against Magadai. Well, I mean Magad. I meant Mongols, but Magadai.
it's all the same.
What's the game plan
Yeah.
for both?
You know, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky. I think, if anything, it makes the Mongols think about going into their own camels, which is not great against stronger camels, or maybe pikemen, which a lot of pros don't like to do due to the due to not getting help. So I think that this is where Khosrow wanted to be. I think this is why he picked Gurjaras. And if he could break this, if he could win this, and this is the #1 pick from his opponent, this is going to be a big one for him, and obviously needed because he'll be knocked out otherwise. I do think, though, that, like, you're in Castle Age faster, you're on 3 TCs. I think you can still make Mangadai. You don't have to just not make that unit, because the unit is so strong. It's just you might need Mangadai with your own camels, or maybe Mangadai pikemen, but you don't have to just skip the unit entirely just because of the Shravamsha rider.
I mean, 40 Magadai are still going to win against Shravamshas. It's just in low numbers that you're going to have issues, right? And if you're not microing, which we know Alexios is never going to be caught not microing with his Magadai if he goes for that route. But remember, the last time he was playing on this map, he went for Arbalest push to support his castles and try and get the position. I know that was a very specific instance, but he's very clearly willing to make like the non-meta choice in early Imperial Age here with Mongols.
Yeah. Now, Khosrow was utterly obsessed with getting relics in the previous game when it felt like it should be impossible to focus on it. Now this is a boom game, and Khosrow has no resistance whatsoever. So Khosrow has scouts on the field, Shravamsha or 2 running around. He's going to try and be a pest, but he's going to try and get these relics more than anything. But Alexios does have the villager lead. Obviously doesn't have 4 fishing ships. Res collected is very even, and that's going to be Alexios snagging a relic. I would say, like, very high standards here for the players, right? I feel like that relic shouldn't even be collected at this point. Like, if you've got 5 units on the field, you know where all the relics are. Should be something that players are paying attention to, but Alexios is going to snag that one. Very nice.
I bet you Khosrow's relic senses just started to tingle when that thing was picked up. He's like, oh, man. We lost one. And now he's looking for it. He's not going to find it because the monks pushed him away. But you better be sure he's not going to let Alexios go and snag another one from that top hill.
Yeah.
He's going to be guarding this. Look at all the moving pieces here for Khosrow.
And there's always 3 on the, I hate describing it this way, but there's always 3 on the belt. So
plateau?
There's 2 in the grassy terrain. Yes, and there's always 3 on the plateau.
Waistband.
Yes. So that is very unlikely for Alexios to get out there. I do like how Alexios is making outposts here. I think vision is an underrated thing to have. I also like that we are seeing Khosrow go for what I believe is TC number 4. I think on this map, you want big power units. Thus, you want lots of eco. And unless your opponent is really going to be pushing you here, which you haven't seen any indicators of, 4th TC makes sense.
Against 4 monks, don't think you can jump in here. Might want to go for light cap now that you've seen, instant light cap now that he's seen that investment. And he's still got units patrolling up at the top. It's been a very patient kind of expansion here from Alexios. We look at the eco overall, 61 villagers against 66. We still have the fishing ships, of course. And in terms of res collected, almost dead even.
Yeah, really close right now. And this is going to come down to comp. And honestly, we'll see. I do think, though, that you have a window with the Mongols still. Maybe if Alexios doesn't think he has that window, he'll do exactly what he did in his prior series, and he'll go for Arbalest and forward castles and use his castles for trebuchets. But I just, I think that even though the Mongols can still win this and it's very even, that Khosrau, when he drafted, planned for this moment. He planned for it to be an even boom war, and he believes that the Gujaras are the superior civilization.
Mm-hmm. I like the forward position that he has too. Both players going for outposts, but like Alexios only left his side of the map once, and that was to snipe a villager. Khosrau has been all over the place here, and Alexios is really going to need to be careful. Great quick wall. Oh my goodness. And he's really going to need to be conservative with his expansion because Khosrau is everywhere.
Well, listen, my chat is now saying Viper, and in the first round we had 2 people, one being Khosrau and one being another player, voted as the Viper. So clearly this is a Viper versus Viper matchup yet again. But everyone's able to, well, not everyone's able to quick wall like that. Not everyone's able to make a house blockade in front of the monks. It was a confident move from Alexios, but doesn't work out. He's got to be careful with those monks.
Devotion on the way in. Lightcav still roaming around. Alexios has done an amazing job in this game. This is so difficult to expand your eco when your opponent has so many units, and he's been so patient. He's kept his monks together. He's got the vision that he needs, and it's just all about, you know, getting those castles up in a safe spot and then making the transition in time.
Dave, when you said those words, he had 7 seconds of TC idle time. 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been idle for longer than 7 seconds casting this. Like, for him to not be idle with his TCs pretty much at all this game is insane. He's still going to go with Mangadai. And again, it's like, we're going to find out. If you're ever going to find out, you know, about this matchup, maybe you got to find out now. That is a, whoa, that is going to be a forward castle from Khosrau. What in the world? And he's still investing. He's still making Lightcav. He's even making Siege. Whoa. Big investment. I guess he's not expecting Alexios to be up to Imp right now.
I mean, maybe the Imp comes in when he's still building the castle and he cancels it. He actually places it in a slightly different position. He does see the outpost, so it's full warning here to Alexios. He knows exactly what's happening. Also, behind this, handcart for Alexios. Not even wheelbarrow for Khosrau.
Yeah, Khosrau really needs to get those upgrades here. He's got 107 villagers. I mean, it feels like it could be a great position for Khosrau, but it also could be the end of his story here in Hidden Cup 5. The Mangadai are looking really good. And, you know, the Siege is not going to do anything against them. The Shravamsha Riders there push the monks away. The Siege goes down. The castle will probably go up here for Khosrau. But Dave, what's to stop this castle from just getting trebbed down by the position Alexios has?
It does buy him quite a bit of time, and I think there's going to be a little focus shift here from Khosrau onto maybe less Castle Age investment when he sees the Imperial Age timing come in.
Yeah.
Maybe more defensive castles behind. He still has 13 on stone. Still been very comfortable at home with his eco. And there is actually Bloodline, so he invests even more.
I think this is actually one of those situations, if Wheelbarrow and Handcart was in, the food count would be over 1,000 right now for Khosrau. There's a lot of farmers right now. Those villagers are moving very, very slowly here. Khosrau, 115 vills. Same for Alexios. Alexios making trebs. And yeah, there's Wheelbarrow. There's also the unique tech, which makes it cheaper to produce any unit that costs food, which is huge for the Gujaras here. I will say, if these Shravamshas get in... Yeah. To your point, Dave, he's got to be careful because if the Shravamshas get in, this could be a nightmare for Alexios to deal with.
Yeah, more archer ranges added in behind. He's got to be real careful about these Shravamshas. If they get into the back here, that is a headache, and that makes your Mangadai a less offensive potential because they're going to have to be at home to defend. So really, really controlling the unit movements with these counter raids here from Khosrau. Unfortunately, they don't even have forging. They can't get in yet. The Mangadai still trying to hold this position.
This is all in Castle Age from Khosrau. Like, Khosrau's still producing. He feels like if he loses this castle, he'll lose this game. Yeah. I mean, he's going to have a go for these trebs, I think. Patience from Alexios here, walling out the Shravamshas. I love the fact he's gone for Pikeman. It's such an odd thing to do for the Mongols. Players are so resistant to it. He's going to send his Mangadai around. The castle goes down for Khosrau. Khosrau needs to find Imperial Age resources and fast. Or Alexios is going to take this one. Mangadai are no joke here. And imp upgrades are already in. Not all of them, of course, but more and more upgrades flying in as we speak, Dave.
He's still distracting him, though. He's still distracting him. And, you know, Mongols, not really the civilization you want to be going for pikemen with, right? Pikemen are just a temporary unit choice here for Alexios, and he's invested a lot of resource into getting those pikemen. The Mangadai come forward. Shravamshas are still here. Imperial Age is on the way. He needs to buy himself 2.5 minutes of time against these Mangadai, and trapping them like that is huge, but they squeak out. They squeak out of that situation. How?
Look at Alexios right now. Alexios is like, my Trebs need to be forward, and I need to kill him before this gets worse. Like, clearly there's a fear here. He did lose one Treb, but yeah, he's going to come forward now. I don't know what his target's going to be. I imagine it's going to be town centers. Maybe you could justify taking out the stables, but Elite Mangadai is on the way. Another castle. It'll be 3 castles for Alexios. And Elite Mangadai and Pikemen. I think that means the Gurjara player needs something else. This army composition should be unkillable right now. And we're going to see Khosrau take the fight. I guess Elite Mangadai's not in, but this is as horrible a fight as you could ask for here if you're a Khosrau fan.
I think he's just trying to buy himself as much time as possible. He's not thinking about winning that fight. He's like, okay, I need time. I need time. I can't let this castle go forward on me. I just need to keep producing units. I have cheaper food units. I have 62 on food currently, and I have 136 villagers. I am trying to buy myself as much time as physically possible. He's actually not done a terrible job with it because the Mangadai number is at 23, but the Treb number is only at 2.
Okay, so that 13 villager queue right now for Khosrau, you have to realize that you have to cancel that because you need Elite Shravamsha right away, as well as the blacksmith upgrades. Okay, so he's going to get that.
What stable is that upgraded? Is probably pretty important here as the Trebs are pushing in. I don't see it in a forward stable. I don't see it in a forward one, so that should be... Oh, never mind!
No, it's all right. The castle's there. I mean, the castle, it feels weird to say saves him, but don't worry. That upgrade will complete. Now, we're going to see a raid attempt from Khosrau because he knows he can't fight this. And we actually have a very defensive castle from Alexios back home because he knows he's going to get raided. So he's got a castle and he's still got walls. And Davey continues his push. And the army count for Khosrau at home is pitiful right now. He does not have a lot.
Yeah.
And this is Elite Mangadai. This is Pikeman. This could be the end of Khosrau in Hidden Cup 5.
I think Alexios has done such a wonderful job to wall his base behind because he realizes exactly how he's going to lose this game. It's Shravamshas in the eco, killing all of his villagers, forcing the Mangadai back. But because of the walls and because of the investment into the pikemen, he can afford to have all the Mangadai forward, protecting his Trebs. And it makes it very difficult for Khosrau to do anything about that. But he's going to try. He's going to try.
Big fight. It has to happen here. It could work. This unit is seen as broken by a lot of people.
It's only pikemen. It's only pikemen.
I mean, the Trebs can get sniped. If you just want time, the Trebs can get sniped. The Pikes have done a decent enough job. The Mangadai are still there. There's only one Treb. That Treb will fall. Big fight. Khosrau is holding. Khosrau will still have his castle, but his Shravamshas are just melting here, bro.
Still 61 on food, still 147 villagers.
Crazy. Yeah, and counting. He's still making more of them. He's also has 4
That
relics.
army is very exposed now, the Mangadai, because suddenly we have 18 more Shravamshas on the field. Yeah. And they're coming also back that way. Raids. He's killing villagers on this side. That's huge. Potential for a comeback?
Potential for a comeback. If Khosrau can get into the eco of Alexios, if he can maybe get some TCs up on the belt, that could be huge. He's got to deal with this, though. You can't lose your farmers like this. And I love how Alexios is always ready with the next thing. Alexios is going to have Camel now. So if you're just going to go for one unit, Pikeman, Mangadai, Camel, a mix of all 3 of those things, which is pretty expensive, by the way. should still be enough here for Alexios, who's 200 pop, who's deep into the farming eco, and Khosrow still has no response for this.
Yeah, he's sending the Shravamshas back now, but that means the camels can advance and everything else can advance. He's teching into Skirm. So it's like Skirm, Shravamsha against Camel. Camel kills both of those things. He will clear this Magadite army, though, but you know Alexios can be as annoying as possible with it. Will he even clear this, actually? Oh, God, Alexios. Stop being such a nerd, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably right now focusing in the middle. He probably assumes this army is going to die, and it will. But now you've got 18 camels with the Magadite. The main worry I'd have for Alexios is his army now is mainly gold units. So we'll see if he has enough gold. But usually on Bay, you do. He's got, what, 5 castles? 4 castles? He castled towards the middle where there's gold. Like, yeah, dude, he just gave no respect to this Shravamsha. Well, that's not true. He did respect it a lot. He made pikemen. He's now making camel. But it's just been such a good job from Alexios to always have the answer unit-wise.
And Shravamsha just YOLOing up against Heavy Camel. That's not really the play, right? Heavy Camel, him coming out now from Khosrow as well. He has done one thing well, which is take out the Magadite numbers. And if the Magadite numbers aren't there, the Heavy Camel find a lot more value up against the Mongols. But Alexios still pushing forward. Alexios finding the stone over on that side, which Khosrow hasn't had access to for a very long time. And Alexios now sending Hussars in to raid. Oh my goodness, dude. This guy is looking so good.
I love this because right now Khosrow is prepping for a Treb push through the middle. And he is not prepared to deal with... Oh my god, dude. Those villagers need jobs. He's not prepared to deal with raids in his main eco. And this completely punishes Khosrow for not having castles. For that forward cast earlier, which was a waste. I mean, look at all the villagers moving around here. He's got to stop this now. Khosrow has to deal with this now or this is over for him. He's evacuating right into this massive force of Hussars and Mangadai. And Dave, I think Khosrow's about to be broken here.
Yeah, I was expecting Khosrow to bring a different level today, but it was actually Alexios who just slammed his foot down on the gas pedal. And aside from that game one, he's looked so dominant in this set. And once again, he's just controlling everything with his superb micro. The macro behind his amazing 67 on farms. And there's nothing left for Khosrow. Absolutely nothing.
Khosrow's going to be staring at his screen right now. Like, do I call it? Is this actually happened? Have I lost 4 straight? He calls the GG, and Alexios Komnenos will join Vasco da Gama in Hidden Cup 5 final. Beautiful play. We even had some villagers from Alexios so aware that he was going to overtake his opponent's economy, running in to steal the, to steal the farms from Khosrow. That was probably a misclick. Man, Dave, I mean, you just said it. Alexios, every series, he lost 1 game. He had maybe one bad game, but then he was just a monster against everyone he's faced so far.
Yeah, that was incredible, dude. I mean, it was so much map control for Khosrow in that game, and it felt like Alexios just didn't care, and he was booming behind it. But this game number 1, let's take us back to when Khosrow looked like he was going to steamroll the set after this one, because this one was convincing.
I mean, it's so funny having just finished the series, looking back at what Alexios tried to start it all off, right? Because this is not the Alexios that we saw in the future games. And Khosrow was able to punish the greed from Alexios, which honestly, I think that sums up the whole series. Punishing greed is the best way to sum up this entire series. Game number 2, Khosrow with all the momentum kills the villager. And this should have been a good advantage for Khosrow, but it was the militia and the scout activity that distracted and annoyed Khosrow. And you might be like, why is Khosrow not looking at this? Well, because he's microing on water. And we're not able to show you everything. But Alexios won water here simultaneously. Eventually was just all over Khosrow, and Khosrow never really had an answer here in game number 2, Dave.
And the scouts harassing. Oh, the monks. I mean, he gets 2 conversions here, but it's not worth 400 gold, right? That's right after Sanctity kicks. There's no monks left. The knights chasing him away. But then we move on to the Islands game. And, I mean, Alexios just out-microed him. completely
Yep.
in this galley war. And Khosrow was keeping up in terms of production. He was ahead in terms of production at some points, but Alexios' micro and his faster castle each time really carried this one through. I mean, the micro there is just extraordinary.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And the micro and the macro, his uptime was superior. His timing on the TCs was superior. He outplayed Khosrow at the type of game Khosrow wanted because this was a home map for Khosrow. And there's just not many players in the world who could play islands like that. Now, this one was wild to me. I mean, Khosrow was able to defend so many of these early attacks. This, I thought, was going to be awful for him. He defended. But what I loved from Alexios was he continued to keep coming. He didn't say, okay, he's defended, I'm done. He invested into more upgrades. He forced quick reactions from his opponent. And while that gate it looks impressive, there's 2 army on the field for Khosrow at this point. He's got 1 skirm, he's got 1 galley, and he just got punished so hard here by this army.
But he did have a really impressive comeback in this game, because if you look at the stats after this fight, there was 12 villagers killed or something like that, and then the war galleys were coming in, and he somehow just manages to recover. But Alexios kept his eye on the prize. He knew as long as he had presence in the middle, even against the heavy demos, he could set himself up to be defended at home and then start with the raids on the sides. And he could focus down the wood eco and the food eco from Khosrow. It really, really worked. What a clutch conversion here, too.
Boom! Dude, that's amazing. I don't think we can give Alexios credit for timing that, but that was a big moment. And then here, I mean, we talked a lot about Elite Travamsha and that being the plan. But I loved how Alexios macroed this game. He played it perfectly. When things got messy, he always seemed to have an answer. And this was maybe a bit of a messy moment. He did kill 3 mangonels, which is why he lost the trebuchet there. But still, adding in pikes. So many people don't add in pikes to supplement or support the Mangudai. That helped big time. Yep. And that was all before the camel. And like Khosrow was just playing, he was playing catch up. The late Castle Age investment here just didn't really fit the situation for me.
Yeah, I know. He's not taking any of these fights expecting to win. He's taking these fights expecting to buy himself 20 seconds. Because if he doesn't, he's dead. And we just saw fight after fight after fight where he knew he was going to lose going in. But if you don't take the fight, you're going to lose the entire game, not just the battle. And that's just a really difficult position to put yourself in.
Yep. The way I would sum up this series is that Khosrow really struggled to be able to find the moments, find the fights, and ultimately, control the battlefield against Alexios Komnenos. So it is going to be Vasco da Gama against Alexios in the final tomorrow. And in our 3rd place match, we will have Gajamada against Khosrow. So that much is confirmed, people. We've got 2 more sets of Hidden Cup 5 remaining. So I want to tell you briefly about that. We're going to start the 3rd place match pretty quickly compared to how we started things over the last week. We're going to aim to start the first match just after 15 GMT instead of 30 minutes after 15 GMT. Gajamada and Khosrow could give us a crazy best of 5. And then it will eventually move on to the final, as well as the big reveal as we find out who these players are. Because right now there are fans cheering as if they know, and there are fans weeping as if they know who these players are. And I think so many people are going to be wrong. I think we're all going to be surprised. We already know, Gajamada, probably the biggest question mark of the top 4. But I feel I know, but I don't know with some of these other guys.
Dude, I was watching some of the macro from Alexios, and I'm sitting there thinking, have I been wrong? Could this be Hera?
Yeah. Is that Hera? Yep.
And you're watching the farm count climb, and you're just like, damn, if that is Leary, he's playing amazing. Also, the Saracen strategy on Cup, I'm sitting there thinking, could I be wrong? Could this be Hera? Because that doesn't seem like a very Leary thing to me to add the additional TCs. It could also be Viper. Could be we don't know. We don't know. Yeah. We can think, but we have to stay humble.
Yeah, and I feel a lot of people forgot about the whole humble thing because it's so fun to guess. Now, if you are certain, and I mean, even if you're uncertain at this point, below the stream, we have a panel which should say Guess Heroes. Also, you can go to hiddencup.com and there is a Guess Heroes tab. We have an official guessing system, official guessing competition, I suppose, and we are cutting that off right around the time the final starts tomorrow, I believe. If that changes, I'll let you know tomorrow. But don't come back to me after Hidden Cup and say, well, T90, it was obvious. I knew who everybody was. You can't say that unless your name is on the sheet, all right? Unless the evidence is there, people. I'm saying this from Hidden Cups of the past. I feel like every time someone said they knew, they just so happened to be busy and they didn't input their guesses. So I'll be inputting my guesses. Dave will be inputting his guesses. And then when the reveal happens tomorrow after the final, everybody will find out who has been who this entire Hidden Cup.
I just remember one guy on each one of your Hidden Cup videos in the past coming back like a week after you uploaded it. Like, I said this was him. I said it was him the whole time. And I noticed the same username on every video. Like, I told you this was him. It's like, okay, dude, that guy needs to stay humble for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe we did. In fact, maybe he did, and he wanted to go back and brag. But yeah, please check it out on hiddencup.com. It should be awesome. There's people traveling right now to go to the live viewing parties we have set up. We'll have hundreds of people in the UK watching Hidden Cup 5 live together at a viewing party tomorrow. We're going to have a couple hundred people in the US as well. I will be there at the US one after the whole event concludes. So exciting times, obviously, to people who are watching here online. Thank you so much. The viewership today was sick and really, really motivating and exciting for tomorrow, as tomorrow will be even more exciting. So, Dave, actually, we got to do the votes. We got to see what people think. We got to go to this. Who do you think, viewers, just lost there in the semifinal in Cosrail? Please vote away. Type a number in the chat to vote for who you think went down. Dave, thoughts on who could have just lost there?
I still think it's Viper. But I'm not as sure about Cosrow as I am about Hera being Vasco.
Okay, got it. I think Viper should be people's number one guess. I think there was it was a little sloppy at times, and the recovery was always there with the quick walling and the damage control, but ultimately there was immense skill. Viper wasn't Khazra wasn't able to quite deal with the aggression all the time. I think the bigger question might be Alexios. Like, people voted pretty heavily towards Hera for Vasco da Gama, but then you got to look across and say, have we seen a player play like Alexios has played if Hera is not him?
I honestly think there might be a decent portion of people that look at Alexios and think it might be Viper too.
Yeah.
Just because of some of the micro there, some of the macro is just really impressive. I personally don't think it has his style all over it, but I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah. All right. 61% believe the Viper just went down there in the semifinals. Some other people still thinking there's Yo, a chance of that being Yo, which I could see, actually, and then a chance of that being Leary. And then we're going to have the vote, obviously, now for the winner, who moves on to the final, Alexios Komnenos. And I'm thinking, like, stylistically, you got Hera, you got Leary, you got Hart, and again, stylistic, I think everyone's assumed that Tato either lost first round or was Gajimata. I think a Tato. I think a Vinchester. I actually think a Sebastian. There's actually quite a few names that could be. It's just the level's so elite. Some people might not think some of the other names that I ended up mentioning there.
What if it is Vinchester or Sebastian? What if it's Sebastian and he's just like on the warpath? Wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be wild.
It would be crazy.
By the way, when I picked my hero bracket, I had Alexios coming out on top. He won the whole thing.
Okay, nice.
I failed almost everything else, but I got Alexios right to the final.
Right now, the person who is winning, the person who is tied for third in the hero bracket prediction, one of his names is Alexios the Great. So we have a big Alexios fan out there. But yeah, honestly, the type of play is so good, and it could describe a couple of our players, but the level we're seeing, I can understand why the votes are coming in with Hera, Leary, and the Viper, because those three names feel like the names that can bring that level with such consistency from series to series, game to game. I'm going with Leary here. I think that seems like prime Leary, who we haven't seen in a long time, and 41% of the community agrees. 27% of people out there, they know, they're hoping that could be the Viper, and that Viper would play a bit more aggressively than maybe Cosral did on the other side. Would be a big story if Viper was knocked out in the semis, but he was knocked out in the semis 3 years ago against Hera. Maybe if that's Hera Viper rematch, who knows? But anyways, dude, it was a great day. Great sets. We got one more cast together, which is the final tomorrow. It should be a big one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I had so much fun today. Great energy in the chat. Just make sure you're there tomorrow, okay? I don't care what else is going on. Bring yourself, bring your friends, bring your pets, bring your siblings, bring your dad, bring your moms. Okay?
That's a lot of people to bring.
We need them all.
Make sure you should probably have like some food. Like, don't invite him over and not like offer him a glass of water or something. But yeah, it'd be amazing, guys. Hidden Cup 5 has been a crazy event, and it all ends tomorrow. So let's all end it with a bang. Dave, thanks again for showing up, dude. See you tomorrow.